Hey everyone, Nux free here, and I'm back. Alright, so it's been a while since I've uploaded a video, but it shouldn't be a surprise. As I warned you in the last video I did, I'm pretty sure, that videos are going to be coming at a much slower pace. Videos will get out whenever I feel like it. The new formula is completely destroyed due to the laptop being gone pretty much forever. Unless I win the lottery and win money out of nowhere, there is no way I'm going to get this channel back to the big status and plans that I had it. I mean, I lost my countdown, I lost a lot of things with the whole laptop crash, and it is definitely one of the most darkest moments for this channel. It makes me feel like I'm going back all the way to when I did that first video, although not that far back, because that first video I did was with my freaking phone, so be thankful I'm not doing that. But today, I'm going to be doing a special video. This is a video I've wanted to do for quite some time, and just due to the fact that I've wanted to talk about this subject, I've considered doing it, but I considered pushing it back because maybe it's a little too early in the next gen market to do this subject, but I've decided it's pretty much time to do this subject because there's really no other better time to do it. And the best part is, two YouTubers I watch, Black Bond and Review Tech USA, have uploaded a video discussing this, and so I was like, oh, okay, I'll just make a video response to those two then. And so I'll make this a video response and then pretty much just give my thoughts in that vein. So let's go ahead and get to it. For those of you who don't understand what's going on, these are my thoughts on the current gen gaming platforms that you can play on, all the systems, that you can play games on, how I feel about them, what the future of them could be, what could improve them, and things of that nature. And you guys know me, I'm very detailed with this stuff, I'm very specific with this stuff, so if it ends up being a long video, well, hold on, it's going to be a bumpy, long talk. Just slip on some earphones and take a listen for you phone people. If not, then open a tab and do something else, because I've got a lot to say. Alright, let's get into my thoughts on current gen and what I think of all these platforms pretty much. The first one is the PC. Now, the PC is the PC. I have never gamed on the PC because last generation was when I was getting back into gaming, because I was on a gaming hiatus for like 2 years pretty much. So last gen I was like Wii and Xbox, those were my two consoles. This gen I want to do a lot better because last gen seemed like half-coursed, nothing really thought out, just two gaming platforms bought so I could play games and things of that nature. And so this generation I tried PC gaming, and so far it's not been the best experience. There have been great things going for me in the PC, and remember, this is my perspective of PC. In terms of everyone else's perspectives and how I think it'll go for everyone else, PC will just be great in its own vein for years to come. I mean, PC is like 10,000 steps ahead of all the consoles. It's ahead of all the handhelds. It's ahead of, it destroys any expectations. It can do almost anything pretty much. What else is there to say? It's the PC. But in terms of my personal experience with the PC this generation, I've been having a crappy time. I mean, the laptop crash was probably the main reason why I ended up not PC gaming for a long while. I still tried a PC game. I've been playing a lot of PC games, and Jesus Christ, it was fun. There are plenty of cool PC games I look forward to trying to play in the future, but as of now, it looks like my PC gaming little career thingy is at a halt. Hopefully in the future I can get a better running CPU, a better running computer, maybe a better setup sometime in the future, so that I can get back into PC gaming and experience all that it has to offer, because I feel ashamed that I got kicked from this cool experience that was always ahead of gaming itself. And then, just it all went down from there. And so until I get back into PC gaming, all I have to say is it's just going to remain the same for a long time. It's just going to be the maximum power of how consoles work. It's got the best graphics. It's got all sorts of games, the most exclusives and things of that nature. It's pretty much got things, it can do almost anything. It's a pretty, especially if you have the right computer. As long as you get the right computer and the right thing running, you will have a good time, trust me. So PC, that's all I have to say for it. I don't know all the big stuff about PC, like I'm not a big techie person, so unfortunately I can't elaborate on that anymore. So we'll move on. So next up we get into the PS Vita. The PS Vita, I feel sorry for. I was always that one person who much preferred the 3DS, who much preferred the DS to the PSP. I never really cared less for Sony. Sony was the gaming platform I always never liked in a way. Looking at the PS Vita, it truly is a good system. I'm not dissing the system, and I'm definitely not dissing the capabilities the system has. People say it's a big, powerful handheld, like Review Tech USA described it as a handheld that would, you know, like play console games on the go. That's what Sony wanted it to be. Excuse me. And so, my perspective of it is that, okay, that's cool and all, the PS Vita has more power than the 3DS by a mile run, but the problem with the PSP and the PS Vita as of now, well, not the PSP, forget the PSP, I'm getting this all mixed up, but the problem with the Vita is it would be just a little more successful if Sony actually cared for it. Like, I can understand why people love the Vita, and I can understand why people respect it. I, to a great degree, respect the Vita. But it would be a great platform if it was actually cared for. I mean, with some platforms, you can understand that there are bad things about it, but with the PS Vita, the problem is the manufacturer, you know, the provider, doesn't care about the system. What's the point of buying a system if the company shows they don't care for it? What would be the point of buying it? That means they're not going to release good games on the thing. They're just going to release a bunch of hand-me-down games. It's going to be nothing but an accessory for a console that already has a controller, as if the PS4 needed a Vita as a controller. I mean, why can't we just stick with the PS4 controller? Why do we have to have a Vita as a controller? I mean, that's not the gimmick of your console, and this thing was meant to be its own thing, and I would have preferred it that way. And I honestly think that, you know, the Vita as a handheld just wasn't that great. And so it was great in terms of hardware, in terms of internal stuff. There was nothing wrong with the Vita. If Sony cared about it, it would be a little more successful. That's all I'm saying. Sony needs to care about the Vita. I'm not sure if they're going to do that in the future. I mean, they already said, we're not going to make AAA games for the thing. So that should imply that Sony could care less about the Vita. And that's the reason why I don't, you know, look towards the Vita, because it looks like Sony doesn't care about it. If they don't care about it, I don't care about it. And so it's a shame, you know. But other than that, I guess gotta move forward. So next up is the Nintendo 3DS. The Nintendo 3DS, to me, is one of the best handhelds I've definitely played in a long time. Like, you know, I like the Game Boy, I like my DS, but the 3DS is literally one of the best handhelds I've ever owned, for sure. I mean, it trumps my Game Boy Advance and my original DS and DSi for sure. So I love the 3DS. A lot of people really had their doubts about the 3DS, and even I had my doubts even at one point, but that was so quickly turned around. So many games came out of nowhere. Nintendo was just like game after game, like, oh, here's 3DS games right here, like throwing them like they had an endless supply of 3DS games, like raining down Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Kid Icarus, all those games. Literally some pretty awesome games. And so 3DS was on a roll at a good point, and it is definitely one of the successful, you know, platforms of the generation. You know, something that could have easily failed with the wrong direction, and it took a great turn. And so I'm proud of the 3DS. The only thing I have to say about the 3DS is it needs more momentum again. I mean, I understand that more effort should most definitely go to Nintendo's other platform that I'm going to be talking about in a minute. But I do agree that the 3DS still needs momentum because it's the actual successful system, and if you push that momentum up better, then the 3DS will be a success story. Nothing else to say really, just keep the 3DS momentum going, but do put your efforts on the less successful platform that I'm about to talk about later. But for now, all I have to say is the 3DS is doing pretty fine. I mean, I played Fire Emblem, I played the new Pokemon games, I will be playing the upcoming Pokemon games, I played Luigi's Mansion, I played, I haven't played Link Between Worlds, you know, all those games, good games. Keep it up. That's all I have to say, is just keep up the work, and I'll be interested to see what the 3DS has to offer in the future. I think it's a very good thing. They changed their direction with it very fast. There are a few more things that could be added to it to make it slightly better, like, you know, things such as cross-buy or, you know, other things like that. But other than that, I don't think I have any other problems with the 3DS, really. I mean, if you have problems, be sure to list them in the comments below, give your thoughts on this video. But other than that, 3DS, pretty good job. The PS4. Oh boy. So, as I've stated in the past, all of you can tell I'm not a big Sony fanatic, and the reason for that being is I've never owned a Sony platform ever. Like, the closest I owned to a Sony platform was a PS2 that a cousin of mine had. Other than that, literally nothing. And my brother had a PSP. But literally, I've never experienced a Sony platform. Does that mean I hate Sony? Nope. So far, the PS4 is looking to be one of the most successful of the main free consoles. Like, out of the main free consoles, and stop with the Wii U isn't competition crap already. That's another debate for another discussion. Pretend I never mentioned that. Shoot. Back to subject. PS4 is pretty much the best of the consoles, and it's the reason why the other two consoles, Wii U, Xbox One, are considered not competition, because literally the PS4 has done some amazing things. For example, the PS4 will have the better looking third parties, even if you don't get them on PC, to which, you know, that's the most people will. I mean, I don't have a reliable PC anymore, so if I were to get a PS4, you know, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I mean, it's gonna have the better third-party games. It's got good exclusives that I like. Like, for example, in terms of third parties that I wanted, Kingdom Hearts 3 was something I always wanted to play because I decently like Kingdom Hearts. There are other games that I want to try, and I would rather try them on the PS4, honestly. Like, PS4 looks like if I were to buy a secondary console next to my Wii U in terms of for third parties, because let's be honest, Wii U isn't getting third parties, I would buy a PS4. The only reason why I haven't considered the decision between the Xbox One and the PS4 is, as of right now, there are like no big exclusive games on either Xbox One or PS4. I like how people brag that they have the most exclusives right now, when really, as of right now, in terms of exclusives really kind of out, they don't really have, you know, anything that is in my interest. Like, in the future, of course, I mean, PS4 will be ahead, but in terms of now, PS4 is a great console, and the main reason is Sony listened to their fans. Something I wish other certain companies would do. You know, there are a bunch of other companies I wish would listen to their fans, but that's really the reason why Sony is ahead. They listened to their fans, they learned from their mistakes, not repeated their mistakes, learned from their mistakes, and did what they had to do to make a successful console, did different features, you know, didn't really force anything, impressed the most people. Pretty much that's the reason why PS4 is dominating. And, you know, personally, I think PS4's success also came from a little hype, because as of the start, the PS4 honestly wasn't super duper drop dead impressive, but as of now, pretty much PS4 is officially one of the best console gaming platforms, not counting the two handhelds and PC, of course. So, good job to PS4. I give Sony my credit, And if I were to try a Sony platform, this would definitely be one I would consider in the future. And so, good job to Sony. Then we get to Microsoft and the Xbox One. Ooh boy, I never liked the Xbox One. I never liked Microsoft, and to be honest, yes, I did like Microsoft. Everyone knows about the 360 that I talked about. I bought a 360 last generation due to the Wii's lack of third-party support. What was I missing out on? I was missing out on Batman, Arkham City. I was missing out on all these cool games and that the Wii was not getting. And don't get me wrong, I like Nintendo's lineup, but dang, I was missing way too many games. So I bought a 360 because I didn't really know what the difference between the two. I think personally the 360 was just the better option, and the 360 controller was an amazing controller. I love that controller. But then we have the Xbox One. Now the Xbox One, in my opinion, has nothing to appeal to me. Nothing. Like, originally, one of the biggest problems was the fact that it was a $500 console. Just because they decided, hey, let's force the Kinect into it. And I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they're so behind their competitors, Sony. That's why they're behind them, because of that Kinect and that 100 price difference. Plus, even if they are the same now, Sony will still have the superior graphics in terms of that. Not that graphics is the main factor, but Sony will also have a few more exclusives than Microsoft, because right now I'm looking at, like, what, Halo? And, like, a few other exclusives that Microsoft is getting, and none of them, not one, impresses me. Why would I? There is no reason for me to get an Xbox One, honestly. Like, for example, I really wanted Kingdom Hearts 3. My brother was trying to convince me, let's get an Xbox One, you know, for Kingdom Hearts 3. And I can get the Minecraft Xbox One edition, and I'm like, why would we do that? A, Minecraft will also be coming to the PS4 now, and B, Kingdom Hearts 3 will be more powerful and better on the PS4. There is literally no reason for me to be interested in the Xbox One. That Halo collection game did turn my head, and I really like the look of it, but there is nothing else other than that collection of games that makes me want an Xbox One. Like, in the future that could change, but I highly don't see it. I mean, there were so many things when the Xbox One was revealed that turned gamers off, and definitely turned me off, and it's the reason why I despise even thinking about purchasing the system, because it's not in my favor. I don't like the system. It just doesn't look like a great system to me. I mean, there are no things that are appealing to me. Yes, Microsoft is learning from their mistakes one by one, but other than that, really nothing. That could change in the future. You know, those are my current thoughts. If you have a problem with it, if you enjoy the Xbox One or 360 more than me, that's fine. That's fine. That's you. But as of my personal perspective, I find the Xbox One useless to what I would want in gaming. Third parties, I'd rather get them on the PS4, honestly. Nothing really interests me for the Xbox One, really. And it's a shame, because maybe I would even trust Microsoft more if it weren't for the bullcrap I dealt with their 360. I mean, I dealt with a lot of bullcrap just going and dealing with the 360, so... And then they come out with this thing, give us the middle finger for, like, its launch, and then later down the line they start making these changes now, and there's still less reasons to really turn to it? No thanks. So those are my thoughts on that. And so now we get into the console that I'm sure people are, this is going to be the console that causes the debates in the comments, and pretty much, yeah, this is going to be the console. This is the only of the free next-gen consoles I own, out of the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Wii U. Whether or not you consider it next-gen, it's pretty much my only console. And the reason why I bought a Wii U was, well, it was the cheapest of the free consoles. I'm a huge Nintendo fan. There were games that looked good to me that I wanted. I had a bunch of stuff from the Nintendo Wii that was going to be so easy to transfer over to the Wii U, and I could keep my Wii supplies and not have to worry about maybe selling them or just having them in the basement and collect dust. And it was useful for a lot of games. I could still play Wii games. This was pretty much the console in my favor. For me, it was a good next-gen console. Now, if there were just a few more freaking changes to it, it would be the dominator of the generation. Like, imagine, because Nintendo fans, you cannot deny that the Wii U has its problems. It definitely does. Now, it doesn't have a bunch of problems as some people make it out to be. Like, some people make it out that the Wii U is worser than as people make it out. Like, some people make it out that it's on the level of the Virtual Boy. The Wii U did more better than the Virtual Boy. The Wii U's been alive for 2 years, people. Virtual Boy didn't last a year, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Virtual Boy didn't even live a year. I mean, I don't know the exact time life, but I'm pretty sure Wii U is 10 times better, outselling the Virtual Boy already at its point. Yeah, the sales are getting slightly better with Mario Kart 8 and things of that nature, but I can think of a few ideas that can make the Wii U still successful. I mean, imagine a Nintendo platform where you can get Nintendo's great first parties, and they have more of them. You can get all the first parties. You can get the third parties that everyone likes. First parties, second parties, third parties, you can get all that on one platform. And even if it isn't the definitive version, it's not going to be like, oh, PS4, like where it has the best graphics, but Nintendo could easily do that. They could build a juggernaut Nintendo console, and it would have the best graphics. They could have definitive versions of games or whatever. As of right now, does it have the definitive version of all your favorite games? Of course not. It doesn't. A, it has no third-party support to begin with, and B, Nintendo did flump off the graphics to be a little gimmicky, to which, in my opinion, that's a mistake they learned from, and I'm pretty sure they can fluff that out in the future. Wii U, again, I don't think Wii U is in a death or life situation as everyone makes it out to be. Everyone makes it out to be as if Wii U is gonna sink Nintendo. Honestly, Wii U is not even close to doing that bad. Like, not even close. Not even close to doing that bad, in my opinion. It is doing not the best Nintendo console, but it can do 10 times better, honestly. For example, people say Smash will save the Wii U. I personally think it's going to be more than games than Smash. Smash probably will be the game that definitely pretty much drags the Wii U across the rest of the generation. But honestly, as of right now, I think the Wii U has room for improvement. For starters, let's add more features that make the Wii U more like a next-gen system. For example, there are things that the 3DS and the Wii has or had that the Wii U still doesn't. And the best part is the Wii U has the power to do these things, but Nintendo is not even doing it. You got people saying the Wii U is, pretty crappy. No, it isn't. Look at Mario Kart 8, for example. That game is running at pretty much 60 frames per second. Yeah, frames per second drop during multiplayer, which makes sense in a way. But that's 60 frames per second. I know there's absolute bull crap where people claim it's 59 frames per second, 720. Yeah, it's 720p, I'm pretty sure, but it's pretty much 60 frames per second. Like, how are you going to notice that one frame drop? How are you going to notice that? I only noticed frame drops in multiplayer and online. In terms of the main single player campaign, pretty much 60 frames per second. I think it's a little bullcrap that people try and make Wii U look like it's this inferior system, to which it is inferior in areas due to the things that Nintendo did to it, but man, it doesn't have a lot more potential than people give it. It does have the potential to do things with good graphics, as long as you give it time and hard work. Like Mario Kart 8 proves that. I know Smash Bros, I'm pretty sure, will prove that. I'm definitely sure. Other than that, Wii U needs work. And as a Wii U owner, I think it can be a better, platform, The game droughts are getting annoying. Get more things on the Nintendo eShop. I know you can get more onto the Nintendo eShop than what you have. I mean, and in terms of games, I know you can do better than that as well. I want to see Nintendo exceed all the expectations, make this console one of their best, give it everything they have, learn from their mistakes, like Sony did. Pull a Sony, learn from your mistakes, cater to your fans. That is the key. Fan service and learning from your mistakes. Look at Sony. Due to how their fans reacted, how they treated their fans in comparison to Xbox fans, that's why PS4 sold so much, even though it didn't have a single game out at the time. Like, PS4 had nothing at that time, around that time, and then boom, it sold like crazy. Wii U would do that if you followed the same route. And I'm not saying Nintendo needs to change internally. Like, for example, I'm not saying Nintendo start acting like Sony or Microsoft or some third party. No, Nintendo, keep focusing on the first parties. Like, keep the charm that is in your game. Like, keep like the Miyamoto way. Just start expanding your minds is all I'm asking. Like, look at more possibilities with the old mindset. Don't completely stay old in every single aspect. Look at things with your old mindset, but as if it were better. Imagine a Super Mario game, like a new Super Mario Bros. Games, or like a Kirby's Return to the Dreamland game, where you had online multiplayer, and not online multiplayer to where it's like Call of Duty and you have randomized, things where people control each other. But imagine I can use online features to connect with another friend who has a Wii U as well, and he has the same game. We can connect over online. He could be in Pennsylvania while I could be here stuck in like Florida, for example, and I'm not actually in Florida, but I'm using that as an example. We could be online, and as friends, we can play the game together. Like, you could do that. What is so hard about that? If you expand on ideas more on every aspect of your system, for example, 3DS has things, again, that the Wii U doesn't, then your console would be more successful. That's all I have to say. Alright, folks, let me know if you enjoyed this video. My throat is killing me just giving all these thoughts on the platforms. Let me know your personal opinions on this subject. Like, for example, you can make a list. Oh, PC, I feel this way about it. Wii U, I feel this way about it. I hate this platform. I like this platform. Reasons, don't forget to give me those too. Make video responses. That's all I ask people. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Nux Free out. Thank you for watching.